Hi everyone, my name is Sam Kerrison, and I'm going to present to you my 4 excusable acts of violence presented in fiction. My first example is from the movie series Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2. In this movie, the protagonist sought after members of the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad to gain revenge for their attempted murder on her 4 years prior and also to find her daughter. This is an example of self-help justice because she was also associated with the squad, so she felt like she couldn't turn to the police for help. Along with that, she also had the information and skills needed to seek revenge after this. This is also an example of ego depletion because the protagonist had to maintain a strong free will throughout the movie to skillfully plan her revenge and go after the members of the squad. This act is also considered justifiable. This act is considered justifiable because she wanted to seek after what was right. My next example is from the book series The Hunger Games, written by Susan Collins. This story takes place in a dystopian future where there's a government that implements fear over its citizens by having this yearly event called the Hunger Games, where they elect 2 people from each district and they all have to fight to the death together as a reminder to fear their government. And this story focuses on one of the characters named Katniss. She had to use self-defense in the situation because this wasn't a situation that she exactly wanted to be involved in. So she had no choice but to kill others or else she would lose her life as well. She also used conforming as a survival technique to gain popularity from other people who were witnessing the games, and they were able to help her survive and give her some tools that she needed to survive the games. Later on in the series, in the later books, she transitions into becoming more of a rebel to fight back against this corrupt government and how they have been using people like this for so long. The actions that Katniss witnessed in the Hunger Games was justifiable and excusable because she was put in a situation that she wasn't expected to, and she had to use self-defense to survive. My next example is the song Hey Joe by the Jimi Hendrix Experience. This song is about a man named Joe, and he purchased a gun and he killed his wife because he caught her doing adulterous acts with another man. This is an example of denial of victim because he basically blamed his wife for her actions, and through his anger towards her, he decided to commit this act of violence towards her. Unfortunately, we don't know all the details of how Joe is feeling through this song, but we can assume that there was some sort of self-help justice through this because the character Joe did want to seek some sort of justice against her, that he would do the action himself, or it can be interpreted as diminished capacity because maybe in the heat of the moment he was angry with his wife and he felt a lot of distrust and she lost loyalty with him, and so in the heat of the moment he sort of lost his decision-making skills and used this act against her. This action is considered justifiable because, again, his wife was not faithful to him, but at the same time it is not considered excusable because what he did was still a crime through murder. My last example is the fairy tale Hansel and Gretel. It's a children's story from the 1800s. In this popular fairy tale, a brother and sister named Hansel and Gretel were lost in the woods and they come across this gingerbread house. And there was a witch who lived inside the house and she invited them in and she sort of tricked them into being lured into her house and she wanted to eat them. However, Gretel was able to sort of manipulate the situation, and instead of Gretel crawling into the oven, she convinced the witch to do so, and they were able to kill the witch that way to protect themselves. This is an example of self-defense because Gretel would have been killed by the witch if she hadn't taken that action first to be able to stop the witch and leave the situation as fast as possible. She also did this to protect her brother at the same time Because she was protecting two lives in the situation, herself and her brothers, it would be considered justifiable and excusable because it was an act of self-defense.